Welcome back to The Good Talk, our post-game recap and Q&A show where we discuss the game that we just played and answer all your burning questions, both Warhammer and otherwise, including what kind of pizza John likes. We just came off of the final game of the first round of the third annual Tabletop Titans tournament between the forces of the Tau and the Harlequins. Of course, we're going to spoil the heckins out of this, so if you haven't seen it, go ahead and watch it. Welcome, Zach. Welcome, Lindsay. How you guys doing?
I'm doing good, Lindsay. How are you?
I'm doing great. Yeah.
Excellent. That's good to hear. How about that game? How about it?
It was a really good game.
It was great.
I was starting to blab. I was so excited after we finished the game because I was nervous because you're like a good top level player, right? Like,
sure.
And like I'm not just saying that. Like I'm in Sigmar, I'm like a second top level player. I keep getting into like the 3-2 and like
right.
I like if somebody like just kind of casually hasn't been playing in a while, and I go to a GT like. I'm going to win,
sure,
right? Because I know my army so well.
Totally.
That said, I have been playing Tau for a long time. And I have played quite a few games of the new Tau, but I was still a little like, not sure how this is going to go. Harlequins Tau, also famously, not an amazing matchup, usually one way or the other.
Exactly.
And if I'm like, one way or the other, it could go bad. And if one guy is like super good with his Harlequins, and one guy's like only kind of good with his Tau, think I know which way it's going to go.
Right.
But your army's so interesting in that it, you know, like I said, I had some feel of the way I play my Daughters of Cain in Sigmar, which is that you have this threat range, and you scare people with how fast it can move. Everyone's always asking, wait, they can move and charge? Yeah, and it's like, and they add +1 to each of those rolls. Okay. And you can see people being like, and they're like playing back, and then it's my turn, and I don't risk it. Instead of like, they're like, why didn't you come get me? It's like, oh, you know, Sigmar, the points are a little lower. It's like, oh, you just scored 6 points instead of 5, and I keep scoring 4, and it's turn 4, and now I can't win. Right? That's like that. It's like because I was worried about what you could do.
Exactly.
And that's how I felt playing your army.
100%. And that's the dynamic in this matchup is how far on the aggression each side goes and how far they force their opponent to do it, right? So, you know, you had Kion, decisive action. I think that was all great. And then it became this matter of like, can I just trade up minimally? And I think I even overtraded it at one point. The bikes, I thought I could be more hidden. Turn 2, just wasn't quite worth it because I knew I told you I wasn't going to kill a hammerhead. So like, what was my plan there, right? I overvalued them, and we're going to talk in a second about how I I think that cost me actually. A big thing. But it definitely played out the way that the Harlequins like to try to play it, right? You just get my points. I kind of ignore you. I deal with you when I have to, and they're a really fun army to play. But the good news is, like you said, I never table my opponent by just going all in. I never have a game like that. We will play all 5 turns. You know, like 2 time.
I felt pretty good round 1 and 2. Turn 1 and 2. Turn 3, I brought the flyers in, and that's something we talked about. We were wondering, was that a waste of the flyers? And it might have been because one, you know, my theory, and I stated this during the stream, was if I kill these annoying flyers, then nothing else can kill. Then he's going to struggle to kill my. And that turned out not to be true.
Struggle to kill the flyers, struggle to kill the hammerheads. Right.
And that turned out not to be the case. And so I almost think I should have maybe put the flyers off somewhere where they sort of shoot up one thing, like even just a troop squad.
Just do some
and
work.
then start being present in turn 4 and 5, exploding 5s, exploding 6s, and start feeling like a little scarier.
I think it's a good point because look, I overkilled the flyers because I was not sure if I had enough to kill them. Right, there was a big uncertainty, and that was probably one of the biggest thinking moments of the game of like, how do I get back to them, but also get ready to get back in the game, right? And ended up overkilling them, but that is to say, I didn't know that you were making the bad call or whatever, especially at the time. So like in hindsight, maybe better to make me have to go out to an uncomfortable spot, especially with the fusions and stuff like that. And I think it's also partially a factor of how late in the game it was. So early game, if you can, like, let's say you went first with flyers, I think then it's very interesting to like bomb a boat and shoot the bikes and just try to get rid of them soon because they're going to be a threat to the hammerheads. But because we're late in the game where you're Callion and you are literally coming to me now. Now my fusion pistols actually are good targets for the hammerheads. So that may be adjusted a little bit too.
That and that is what is cool about this Tau army.
Yeah.
But you could do this with any Tau build, which is what makes it cool.
Yeah, totally.
Is that you could, if you take Kion, your playstyle totally changes.
Yeah.
Based on if you're going first or second.
That's why I actually have really come to like decisive action, because it totally dictates how you play the game.
Yeah.
Are you going to play the top half or the bottom half?
Yeah.
And I think you made the right call. It's very interesting.
In general, Kion I think is stronger than Monka. I think there's a couple
for sure.
builds. We know our boy Brett likes to do the Monka builds where he's like trying to like table you and in the combat phase turn 2 with his Tau.
Yes. It's like some weird obscure thing.
Yeah. But I think otherwise Kion has become the thing.
Yeah.
And decisive act. I mean, like I maxed. Did I max out? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I maxed it out.
You got to the max, which is 12.
Yeah, you just go hunting, and that's what cool because the Kion literally means patient hunter.
Oh,
so that's what it means, right? So you hang back, and then you're just like, all right, let's go, and you just start. Like I said, at that point you're exterminator. You're just like cruising up the battlefield.
Yeah.
But even still, I still think I'm still needing to learn. I need to get more games in. I need to learn how to push a little earlier.
Agreed.
But it's not even push in a way that's like killing in combat. It's almost just being somewhere in the
being ready. So turn 3, you're in a killing position rather than like responding to my turn.
Right.
3.
I keep being about a third of the way up the board.
Yeah.
When I need to be half the way up the
Agreed.
board. I think I'm about a turn back each
100%.
time. Yeah.
And then you start removing angles for me to hide behind. Right. So
Yeah.
Very interesting game.
Yeah.
I think we should talk about MVPs before we finish. Brett's in chat. I'm a Kion convert now.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
MVP. Not the Flyers then? Or is it? Let me think.
I think Crisis. Crisis for 2 reasons. One, they absolutely deleted something to the point where we were just like, okay, let's just. I don't even know. I think we rolled shooting them out once. Every other time we just picked it up.
Yeah.
2, I think you know that they can actually delete 2 things a turn.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if one is a troop squad and one's a boat. That's very easy for them.
Yeah.
So it made you it made you play a particular way. Now your army happens to be very good at playing that particular way.
True. Yeah.
And you're very skilled at it. You've been doing it, but they still put you in kind of these thought experiments turn 2 and 3 where you're like, what can I do? Because Hammerhead's -1, Crisis Squad -2 units, blah, blah. So they're just, you have to respect them. They also were moving 16.
They were so fast.
I had so many CP that was like, that just an obvious spend. I never fire invaded this whole game, never needed to.
No, yeah.
And they were capping my objectives. I mean, literally, I'd be down 4 more points at the end of the game if it wasn't for them, because nobody else could have gone up to that one.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
Yeah. What about you?
I think also special shout out to the Hammerheads, because they dictated so much about the game.
Yeah, they did. And again, it's sort of like you can't tell what they could have done.
Yeah, because I've had the strength of the Harlequins is making everything uncertain for your opponent. You don't know, in this case defensively, you don't know how much you need to dedicate. When I'm -1, maybe -2, maybe transhuman, 4 pinball, rerolling some things. It gets very, very, no pun intended, dicey, unless you have a gun that just needs a single roll and then that's it.
Right.
And that was just like a hard counter of just like, all right, boat's dead. Because the boats can be very unreliable to kill.
My Hammerheads,
I respected them.
I'm not sure that was the best. They did well. I didn't miss a lot with them.
That's true.
Yeah, I was pretty hot on. I was on the hot side of average for sure.
Right.
With them, and I think that I'm a fan. I'm glad I painted 2 up. I do need to get a bespoke long strike.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Daoyath I still think is more fun.
No, I think that's totally fair. Yeah.
What about you?
The boats, I think, for this game, they were very important for getting in your deployment zone each turn, hopping back in after fighting, which doesn't always come up, and they were essential for just trading minimally into you and not giving you the troops and the fusion, because the troops actually didn't do that much this game. Ironically, they were kind of in places, they fought in a couple places, but largely the game was about the boats and where the boats could take people. So I think definitively, actually, it's the Starweaver. It's just the humble transport.
I will tell you what secondary I think I should have taken instead of Assassination.
Oh, yeah?
And hindsight is 2020.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I think Grind Them Down.
Oh,
I think there are only 2. I think Grind Them Down I had 9.
That's a good point.
Because I think there were only 2. There were 2 turns I think where you killed 1 or 2 and I killed 2 or 3. I think you only matched me 1 turn.
That's true. I mean, it changes how I would play, obviously.
It changes how you would play.
Because then I suddenly can throw my characters in and use them to deny grind.
But they also then help give grind.
Also true.
You're right.
But
So-
also, no.
yeah, I know. It's madness.
I think it's interesting.
It's
though.
madness, but I think
Yeah.
Grind Them Down. And I briefly asked you about prisoners. Prisoners would have been like 4 or 5.
It's really bad.
It's really bad.
Because everything's 1 wound except for the bikes, basically.
Yeah.
You could bring down for 5.
Bring it down, no good. I think grind would have been the call.
Grind's
But
interesting,
I was like, my theory was like, okay, Assassination is going to do one of 2 things. It's either going to give me 0 points and make him, and I'm never going to have to interact with his characters.
Yeah.
Which is a win,
It is a
kind
win.
of.
Yeah.
And then I can cross my fingers to hunt down 2 turn 5 maybe and get 6.
Yeah.
That's what I was going for. The 6 didn't even happen though.
Yeah.
I misplayed the Cold Star a little bit, I think, as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What he did was cool,
yeah.
but he should have been tucked away somewhere safer for. Although I don't know if that's possible.
So
for
you needed him. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
He's fast enough. I think he could have been.
Well, see, literally the thing about a Cold Star
Yeah.
and aerospace is that if you keep him live till turn 5,
Yeah.
anywhere in the board he goes and does aerospace.
Yeah. True.
So yeah.
I think it comes down to that compounding factor of like needing to be a bit more aggressive in the key spot.
Yeah.
Because Assassinate was sort of conditional on that. You had to put pressure to make me spend the characters.
Yeah.
So by not putting enough pressure in certain spots, I didn't have to spend the characters.
Right.
Which also meant that the Crisis lived. I actually very rarely do I fight Tau and the Crisis live.
Oh, really?
Because the character's going in with 3 damage, and they just start chopping them up. But if you have Assassinate, I'm really incentivized to just not interact.
I
so
see, yeah.
it's interesting. That secondary dictated a lot of the way the game would
Interesting,
play.
yeah.
So. Anyways, very interesting
Crazy game, cool
right?
game, yeah. Super cool.
If you guys have any more questions, let us know. Otherwise, we're going to dive on into these super chats.
Yeah, well, before we get into the super chats, before we sat down, we have some gifted gifted memberships.
Amazing.
Meg came in and added 1 more person to her Meggers group. Thank you, Meg.
Thank you, Meg. I don't know if you know, but this is a great way to support the channel, and you should definitely do so.
Yeah, and then Omni has gained a new apprentice as well.
Ooh.
And gifted 1 tabletop membership.
Thank you so much.
It's starting to feel like a Farmville type thing. Or Animal Crossing or something.
Yeah.
Thank you, Omi, so much. Greatly appreciate it. And you're our apprentice.
Okay. Yeah, so for these super chats, we have Darren Main. Thank you, Darren. Loved 40K all my life. Collected Chaos and later Tau when they came out, but 3 years collecting just got the confidence to paint. Yay!
Ooh.
You guys have been here all the way.
That's so nice to hear, Dan.
That's super cool.
Appreciate it. Painting can be daunting.
What's he got? Let's see.
He's
said
got
Chaos and Tau.
Chaos and Tau.
Oh, hey, I like
Yeah.
that.
Right? I like that. Those are like my armies.
Yeah, that's fun. Awesome, Darren. Good luck. And as you start painting, please post in the Discord.
Yes.
We'd love to see it. Yeah.
100%.
We've got one from Broken Chef here. Zach needs to remember to take out the recycling. Yes, I'm ganging up on you with Meg. John is the absentee fiend.
Absentee.
You know what? The recycling is right in the door when I get in. I'm not even going to say anything, Meg. I'm just going to open the door, walk in, start It's like 2 trips, too, at least. To start hauling recycling down. We live on the 3rd floor, and also our recycling is very far away. So taking recycling is like a hike for us. I like it actually because it like on my Apple Watch, it literally each recycling trip. So anyone who has an Apple Watch and has the rings knows that your red ring is movement. Each trip is about 80, and that is like I have mine set to 920. So I need to move 920 points a day. then it's between like 80 and 100. So each recycling trip, like, so doing 2 recycling trips could be like 200 points. It's like almost a fourth of the movement I need to do in a day.
That's a little sad in a way.
Well, and that's what's crazy is like that's like, without getting into like health stuff and personal stuff too much, like if you close your red rings, it's designed that you'll like maintain your weight, right? Like you won't gain weight necessarily.
Totally.
So like it's up steps. It's like crazy. So I'm happy to do some recycling trips, but then we wait too long sometimes and it becomes like 4 trips. Like
that's less fun.
It's yucky,
4 trips,
stuff like that.
Dude, that's like almost all your rings for the day. And you literally can't walk the rest of the day.
It's like it starts to look like we're hoarders when you first open the door.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you, Broken Chef.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, next we have Damian Price. 7.
7.
Yeah.
Thank you, Damien. Appreciate it.
And then to go along with that,
Yeah, I know.
there's 7 Never Dies.
Love it.
Absolute blasphemy. Was thinking about changing my YouTube name, and now I found my calling. Shame on 11 and Adrian.
That's right. 11.
You said, you
Chat
said.
kind of exploded when you're like, 7's dead. It's now 11.
We're doing 11 now. I don't know if it's going to catch on. I don't know. We'll try that. 7 never dies. Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We have the Claven.
Also for 7.
Yes, for 7. Yeah, there's a few 7s. as
Everyone's
you can
doing
see.
7s after that. Yeah.
Noted hipster Zaki T Tao's army. Noted hipster Zaki T's Tao army intro was the best. Don't let it get to your head. But that thing we do right could be the next Oops All.
Okay, let's talk about that. Thank you, the Clayman. Let's talk about that. So there are a lot of things. So I'm suggesting Oops All it's not just a Titans thing.
Oh, boy.
It is a community-wide thing, and I've seen it in other places. I've seen other YouTube channels use it.
Yeah, I acknowledge it's a thing that exists. It is a meme.
It's too much.
It's like a B
It's
tier
too much
meme.
in the community. So that's why I'm saying we're going to switch for Q4. Q4 we're going to switch to Not Your Mother's.
Not Your Mother's.
And like, listen, if someone else has a better idea, fine.
Yeah.
Hang on to it. But like, nobody else is taking leadership on this. So I'm stepping forward and saying, as a community, 40K,
Oh my God.
Sigmar, YouTube, out in the real world.
Yeah.
We're done with Oops All. We're moving on to Not Your Mother's. Just do that for Q4. You don't have to love it.
Yeah.
And then we can see what comes up.
You're like a criminal who's now running for mayor and being like, guys, we need to be harsher on crime. And like you like taking the stance, but now also you're not doing crime anymore, so crime is going to go down automatically. Like that's what's happening.
Yeah, look. Sounds like a Batman villain. Yeah. Which I probably would be a pretty good Batman villain.
You would.
Okay, now,
Oops, all Batman villains.
moving on though, Claven, real quick, think about this. Here's the deal. That thing we do, right, that's something I know I say sometimes. But I will also say this. Oops All and Not Your Mother's, that is a thing we're going to do as a community. Within Titan Studio, the new one we're doing for Q4 is Keep in Mind.
Keep in mind.
And
That's already a thing.
It's a John one. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but only recently.
That's fair.
And you can do this. There's a few variations. You always do this. Keep in mind. Sometimes he does this too. Keep in mind.
Keep in mind.
Okay, that's the John one. So what have we been doing that's like a weird one we do recently? I don't know.
Recently?
No, like what do we do else? What's like an annoying one we get stuck on them and then we do them all summer. Then we have to replace them. That's what I'm saying. Like
So we work together a lot and very closely here at Tabletop Titans, right? So you pick up on everyone's like idiosyncrasies and like things that they say. So like one of the early ones, of course, was your in some ways it's more interesting, which I think genuinely when you were saying it originally, like you actually were meaning it, but then you said it a few times like that didn't quite make sense to us, and then we started like memeing on it. But that started as a real thing that you said. And it kind of evolved from there.
it did, but I think we don't use that one that much. I think that one is like a low simmer. Still kind of works.
It's a low simmer, yeah.
It's a long burning star,
Yeah.
not a bright burning star.
Oh.
Whereas what's one we I can't remember. What's like I don't know.
Yeah. Let us know in chat. You guys,
Famously,
I'm sure you know.
adding famously,
Classic matchup. That one's borderline too much, but
that one is. Yeah.
you know.
Thank you, Claven.
Yes, thank you. We have Crusader Kerbo. Thank you, Crusader. Hey, Titans. I just got back from a day of paintball. Now it's time to paint
awesome.
all my models. Want to give a shout out to my local game store. Local friendly game store. Yeah.
They switched the order.
I know. I was like, wait a second. I know it's Game Store.
You're worried what the F stands
LFG.
for.
Yeah.
Does it change what the F stands for if it's the second word?
Yeah.
For some of them,
Synergy, y'all are the best.
Aw, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Kerbo. Hopefully paintball went well.
it. You should paint your army with paintball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just hopefully use plastic glue. Curious if you play paintball in like a paintball course, or like most people, or if you just play paintball in the wilderness, like in the woods.
Yeah.
That's what we did when we were kids, and like all my friends had just like yards. But then what happens in the Northeast is like so much overgrowth in the summer that like the paintballs just shred through the thicket. And, like, it's so hard. You have to basically like get people out in close combat.
It's more fun that way though. I prefer
gritty.
paintball in the wild.
Yeah.
Because then you can like do like more stealthy stuff,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
do have to get close,
Yeah.
but it does hurt more.
Yeah.
You should do Titans paintball day.
Oh, we should.
Yeah, in the wild.
I haven't done it forever. Oh my
In the
gosh.
wild.
In the wild. Yeah.
Lindsay sounds like she knows the place, and now I'm worried.
She's gonna make a place. This is like some saw thing.
Yeah, you're gonna get sawed by Lindsay.
Yeah, don't worry. It's fine. It's really cool, I swear.
We come back and John's missing. Zach's just missing an arm, but we won't talk about it.
Oh no. Thank you. Next up we have Zabolix. Zabolix. Thank you. So this was a question that would pop up every once in a while in chat, and here's the super chat. What is Zach drinking?
It was.
And it applies now too.
Oh.
So
Okay.
like earlier, and then what are
Yeah.
you drinking now?
Oh well, so what I was drinking earlier was it's just a fizzy water,
Yeah.
right? It's Waterloo brand,
Yeah, it's
right?
Waterloo,
which I know people always see it and like, is that beer or is that a
Cider?
is that a CBD drink?
Yeah. Oh,
And it's like no, it's just fizzy water, blackberry lemonade. It's nice,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's pretty
it's
good. Yeah, pretty good.
And right now it's iced coffee
But in a solo cup.
in a solo
It
cup.
is-
Still looks like you're drinking.
Yeah, so like,
It's like I'm drinking
To be
alcohol.
clear.
We make a lot of coffee here,
Yeah.
and
That's true.
I just take the old coffee and put it in this carafe, and
Yeah.
Mel, I know Mel has a story for that. She's in chat. She can tell that.
Hey, we did you see?
It's
She
gone.
cleaned up the thing.
That's amazing because, like I said, when I came in and saw it, I was
Yeah.
like, "That's always been there." Yeah, that's always been there. I can be a messy person with stuff, but I try not to be
Yeah.
a gross person.
Yeah.
But
see, that's my line as well.
yeah, but like for whatever reason, coffee on the carpet doesn't really gross me out.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I just didn't care.
That's fair. I think it's not the grossest thing it could be,
But
it's
is
kind of gross.
It's not professional when you walk into the workplace and there's a
giant stain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mel says she'll destroy everyone in paintball. Calling us out. I think we got to make this happen. Honestly.
yeah, it's got to happen.
That'd be fun.
Hey,
I'm
you have
super
team
down.
bonding?
You
Yeah,
don't get a horse, Mel. You don't get to ride around on a horse
Yeah,
and shoot us.
I'll destroy. Mounted combat.
It's
pretty
foot paintball, Mel.
Paintball.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Okay. Well, now that we all know what Zach is drinking,
We all wonder.
now, Crust came through. Hey, Crust, thank you again. Everyone playing was really good. It was my first time competing with Necrons. Oh, this is a response to his earlier.
Yeah.
Everyone playing was really good. It was my first time competing with Necrons.
Oh.
One guy was once no one rated Tau.
Number one
Oh,
rated.
number one. Was once
mean,
number
context.
one rated Tau player in the UK was rough. Aha.
Oh man.
Yeah, and I
That's
think
savage.
I think Tau. You did have Silent King, which is tough. But outside of Silent King, I like my matchup against Necrons as a Tau player.
You can really put the paint on.
Well, they rely on like keeping these big blobs alive, and Tau are, now Votan are going to be two factions that are like we can push you past the edge of being able
Yeah.
to keep them alive. Yeah.
Exactly. I also UK. There's a lot of jokes about like you play in the US, you're playing on easy mode, because in the US we're obviously a much bigger country, not a flex, just a fact.
Yeah.
Physically, and so we're spread out more. The UK, lots of people play Warhammer, very densely packed together from our perspective. And so it's much easier to run into like top players in the UK, and people conglomerate against each other. So definitely a lot of competition out there. So
Yeah.
hopefully you had a good time.
Yeah. So now your next goal is to go 2-1.
Exactly.
And it's a slow and steady trudge.
Yeah. The 2-in-1, like, you stay at the 2-in-1 for a long time.
Oh, I've been at 3-2 for the past 3
That's the hardest
GTs
one to
I've
get.
gone to.
But 3-2 is extra hard because
To get to 4-1.
there can be many types of 3-2 players. You were someone that was close to getting 4-1. You were someone that submarine from lower, not naming names like Bridger. 3-2, there's lots of types of players, so it's a really hard category to get out of.
No, I keep being the guy who's close to getting 4-1.
Yeah,
I'm hoping
exactly.
SoCal I can get 4-1.
That's the worst. Because the other people are really relieved to get 3-2,
Yeah.
and you're like bummed, right?
Yeah. It's still cool. I'm not complaining, but
It's all relative, right?
It's relative, and I'm like, oh gosh.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Crest. Next up, we have Colonel Panic. Thank you, Colonel. Is it Colonel? Coronel. Coronel Panic.
Yeah, I think I felt
Yeah.
it.
Whenever I see that combination of words, of letters, just like Colonel. Okay, Coronel Panic. I'm calling it now. New guard will have spillover damage on blast weapons. Go Necrons.
Ooh, that could be cool.
That'd be cool.
That'd
And
be-
it wouldn't even have to be that much, right? Like, just a few extra points that spill over, or something like that. Yeah, it could be cool.
Yeah, only for the blast stuff, so like Basilisk and things like that.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Can we take a quick second?
Yeah.
This is Mel's in chat. Tomorrow's Mel's birthday.
Oh.
Like actual birthday. So let's get some happy birthdays in chat for my wife. Happy birthday, Mel! Yay! Anyways, we'll put that out there.
Lindsay hunting down the exact.
Without a keyboard.
Oh wait, there's an actual birthday
impressive.
cake one.
Where?
Oh, go up. Wait, and
Is that a dabbing gingerbread man?
Oh, if it's a dabbing gingerbread man,
Yeah,
there we
just
go.
do that. That's pretty good.
Oh, it's an elbow cough.
Oh,
I think send it anyways.
Yeah, at this point.
yeah. There we go.
Birthday. It looks like a dabbing gingerbread man.
Yeah, dapping gingerbread man or happy birthdays in chat, please, for Mel.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Cool. Thought it worth mentioning.
Yes.
One of the few Titans not have a birthday on a stream.
Yeah.
All right.
How many birthdays are there's
We
your
have-
birthday
Yeah.
You mean
in
total
September?
among the Titans?
in September.
Oh,
So
yeah. I
mine's
just-
Mel. How many birthdays? Yours is in September.
Yeah.
Meg's is in September.
Meg, September.
Yeah.
think
When's your
that's it.
birthday?
March.
March.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like totally off.
Yeah.
That's the
I think
opposite
like
of
I had
September.
started here
Yeah.
the same week of my birthday.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, it's
That's
like
true.
that first weekend.
Yeah.
Birthday.
Oh, okay.
Craziness. We'll get you a birthday stream.
Yeah.
Bridger, John.
John's July.
Bridger's something weird.
Oh.
Yeah.
So John just
John
passed.
had
Just
it.
passed. He had it on stream and didn't tell anyone.
didn't tell
Yeah,
anyone.
he like was the opposite of me. He's like, don't tell
What?
anyone. I know. What was I going to say? Oh, and then we just had Shane's birthday, who obviously
Shane.
friend of the channel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So a lot of
September beat it.
Oh, Brett's friend of the channel, also in September.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brett's was at Nova.
Yes.
I didn't tell you this. And Brett's in chat, so this is great. Megan, Brett and I were hanging out in Nova. He stayed with my sister and Meg and I.
Yeah.
And I barely use Facebook anymore. Brett barely uses Facebook anymore. But I just hopped on to check some stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's Brett Lee's birthday today. I was like, what? And I went up and was like, Brett, it's your birthday today? He's like, oh, it is. It was at Nova. He was
Yeah.
playing. He was like wrapping up.
Right.
He's like, oh, it is. He's like, I knew it was sometime this weekend. I just didn't know when.
That's really funny.
Brett did not. I mean, he knew the date of his birthday. He just didn't know the date that it was. Because, like, it's fair to him. Like, I'm going to Nova.
Yeah. It's like
Right.
a whole thing.
It's a thing, right.
Yeah.
What is the date on the other side of Nova? And what is the date Nova starts? That's
Right.
like all you really think about. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yes. Okay.
So good.
Yeah, next up we got a super chat from Sin Lord. Hey
What's
Titans, my buddies and I want to start AOS, and I want to build an army for my girlfriend. What army would you recommend? Not too hard to play and fun to paint. John is a fiend.
John
Yeah,
is a fiend.
John is a fiend.
Sin Lord.
Let's
Good to hear from you.
all give
Yeah.
it. We all can give recommendations for
Yeah,
this.
totally. Good starter armies, fun to paint, but not too much.
Okay. Defining an army as fun to paint is tough
Yeah.
because
I would say one thing that pops to mind
Yeah.
for fun to paint. It's not a universal. None of these things are. Probably not a horde army.
probably not a horde
Especially
army.
if you're trying to entice someone into the hobby, don't give them a horde army.
Maybe one exception to that.
Okay. Don't say-
Of a horde army,
Wait.
of an army that can be a horde army and could be fun to paint, which is Night Haunt.
That's what I was thinking.
oh, because they're
Like,
mega easy.
I think
Yeah.
Night Hunt was like one of the first models that I ever painted.
Yeah.
And I had so much fun just like dealing with all the spookiness and all the all the flowy strands and stuff. Like and you have their like capes and like what they have on them. And it's just like it's like one piece of fabric that's like draped over their
exactly.
Their bodies
And
or lack of bodies. Which I thought was really fun. And it was a good time to
They look fun to paint. They look fun to paint en masse. And if you're not airbrushing, which you probably aren't, or maybe you are, you're just getting into AOS. So if you are airbrushing, it doesn't say you're just getting into gaming in general. Check out like 2 weeks ago on Hobby Tines, Meg showed off this thing that she learned at Nova about basically priming, like Zenithal priming with rattle cans.
Right.
And I think even if you get good rattle cans, don't get hardware store dollar cans. And just go and get good Army Painter or AK or Citadel. Okay, pick 2 colors, do like black and then like white over top.
Yeah.
Zenithal, and then like even back further, like dab it with a little bit of green or blue. And you're gonna then have like the Nighthaunt like airbrushed.
Right.
And then you can go with the brush and start doing cool stuff over top of that.
Yeah.
So I think that they can be hoardy.
The most competitive builds are very hoardy right now.
Scarlet Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I think they almost always are hoard.
The best lists traditionally have been. That's what I mean. Yeah.
So okay, that's the only one. That's the only exception. Otherwise, I think you're right.
So we proved the exception is the rule now.
Yeah. I don't think there's another horde army that's like fun to paint.
Right. So what are a couple other good ones? I think I really don't want to say Stormcast.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Do we think so? Like, if you have a cool metallic recipe down.
Yeah. Like if you really like gold.
Yes. Exactly.
Or silver. Or silver.
But you could also be clever. You could do like bronzes and
I've got a blue one over there painted.
They're like covered in it, and it is pleasant. It is like that looks cool.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
I probably wouldn't say giants, Umi, frankly, just because it's not a great representation of the game. I think it's very skewed.
Yeah.
Ooh, Oryx. Iron Jaws.
Iron Jaws, I always cite as a really cool army. So I always say that.
Not your mother's giants.
Not too hard to play and fun to paint. Iron
Jaws.
Oh, yeah, Iron Jaws are good. I don't know how fun to paint they are, but it's not very many models.
I think they're pretty fun. If you're into that sort all of this is so, I think, frankly, Sigmar, you pick the army that you like the look of. And you just go off there. Mel says Edeneth. Edeneth's not bad if you go eels.
They're
you
not.
Can't go thralls.
They're hard to play, though.
They're hard to play.
They're very hard to play because most armies in Sigmar work similar to 40k armies where you're looking at points and where you can do things.
Yeah.
Edeneth are just different because they by contrast work on time. So like the whole army is worse than your opponent's army basically all the time until these certain turns in certain ways.
And it's all about position. It's very much like Harlequins. How we think of them.
Yeah.
So maybe not them, but
fun
Mel,
to paint.
Sylvaneth I think is interesting.
Sylvaneth is fun because you can get really naturey with it. Like I think they're trees.
Yeah.
So you just throw grass. Like I really love playing with the base with Sylvaneth.
Yeah, and using
that's where I find the fun.
Yeah. And they're an army that, like Nighthaunt, you can scale up or down as far as your paint level goes. You can get them done really fast, really simply, or you can just totally go ham on them and do like crazy beautiful things. So a lot of scaling there.
Yeah, I just use like wildwood contrast paint for mine, but like I see people that like what Mel did with hers and made like the galaxy look, and there's like you could turn them into like certain trees, like birch trees, or like really have fun with it.
Exactly. Contrast takes really well on AOS armies.
Yeah. But real quick, last thing, Sinvert, I would just say real quick, not hard to play. Oryx, Stormcast.
I don't.
Of the ones that we said.
Oryx has, but not Oryx, not all Oryx, because Cruel Boys are.
Iron
Jaws, Stormcast.
Nighthaunt is not.
Nighthaunt's not bad.
Yeah, the new Nighthaunt is simpler than the old Nighthaunt.
And Soulblight. Because Soulblight has a billion different things you can do. And almost all of them are not. Like, I've never had a blowout against Soulblight.
Yeah.
I've never blown them out.
They're a little bit hoardy, but not too bad.
Yeah, they are a little bit hoardy.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Have fun.
Yeah. Okay. Nurgle Matthew. So all of these super chats have been for $7.
Yes.
Lord. And Nurgle Matthew came in with the $7.77.
Oh, naturally.
Of course. Thank you, Nurgle. Adrian, I appreciate you. Help my bracket to stay true. Rooting for you most games.
Ooh.
Sorry, Zach. Big love. Happy weekend.
No worries. Now, here's a
Matthew.
question. I am very curious about Harlequins v. Creations of Bile if that happens. We know you're a lot faster.
Right.
And I guess you mostly stayed out combat.
Is that the matchup now? We're gonna spoil.
I don't know what
we're
it
gonna spoil
is.
brackets because it's interesting
guys,
to talk about.
I don't know how you guys have it.
Oh gosh, what was it? So Necrons again. Total spoilers come in.
No, wait, that has.
It's Necrons Harlequins, and it's Bile Demons.
Bile Demons. Okay.
Yeah. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
I think my matchups round 1 were a little bit better than my matchups round 2. I think the second round was going to be harder for both my armies, significantly.
Because
So yeah, you Bile against Demons, very interesting and weird.
Yeah. I like that. I don't really care so much about shooting.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
And then Harlequins, Necrons.
You're the shootier army in that matchup, right?
I am the shooting army.
Demons,
Yeah, for sure.
It's gonna
But if you reach, you just kill everything.
It's gonna stink going into Screamers or Flamers, but I think I have a couple units that can survive it.
And once they reach, then I'm just dead.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm gonna have to be very. I think I have to be KG again.
Yeah,
I was just gonna tell you now.
I mean, I think that's just how you. Honestly, I think that's like
That's
very
how I play.
few armies. Like,
Yeah, 100%.
Bridger acts like he doesn't play KG with his crazy charge armies, but he does.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, back to non-spoilers, maybe.
Yes, we out of spoiler zone. So when is it okay to? I think you mentioned it earlier.
Totally.
So when is it okay to start talking about the winners?
Right,
or
right. So I said, I guess I said after this game. So I think we can start talking about it here, but then we're going to start posting more openly on Monday because we're going to obviously start posting the matchups, discussing them.
Yeah.
As of now, you'd have to like dig into some of these streams to find out what happened.
Okay.
So that is the goal. Just want to give a chance for people to finish up round 1, and then we're diving on into it.
Yeah.
Oh man, you're getting quizzed here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's not like a quiz. It's like this next one.
Okay.
It's not a quiz. It's like a
personality
It's
test?
like a dissertation almost. Like you're having to defend a dissertation here.
Oh, I like it.
Okay.
No offense, Mel. It's not quite the same.
Okay. This is
Just to be clear.
Lyle Dixon. Thank you, Lyle. Hey, Adrian.
Okay.
I'm looking at getting into AOS from 40K for a few months for some small, rather squat reasons, LOL. Was watching some of your Soul Blight videos. Can you explain how you made a damage 5 Vampire Lord on Dragon?
Oh, yeah, 100%. So you have the Lance, which is, what is it, 2 damage base? 3 damage base?
I think that's 3.
It's plus 2. It's, okay, so there's the base damage.
I'm going to keep
gets extra damage.
I'm going to track them.
Totally. Base damage, you get extra damage on the charge with the Lance, and then I give him Flaming Weapon, which is a generic spell that gives plus 1 damage. So I believe that takes you to 5. I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
What you just described would be 4.
Unless it's 2 plus 1.
Okay, here we go.
I think it starts at 2. Well, let's just take a look. I think at the time I was running, was it blood? Is there a way to get something else with blood? We're going to see if this clarifies it. If not, I'm going to have to grab that battle tome and see if there's a blood thing that gives you an additional.
Oh yeah, add 2.
So it's 2 to 4?
2 to 4, and then the 1
And
is
then
from Flaming Weapon.
Okay, yeah, so you don't need anything on top. So that's how you do it.
Yeah.
It's a ton of fun. And it's like a truck.
And it's one of the army has so few ways to do damage.
Yeah.
It's them and Graveguard and Radikar.
Exactly. And I like giving him the Warlord trait that lets him do an extra free CP for himself every turn.
Yeah.
So he can do all-out attack or whatever.
Yeah.
Because he is like high value, not many hits, truth be told.
Keep in mind, someone easy to kill. Surprisingly easy to kill.
Surprisingly easy to kill.
So
Definitely
he's
true.
a little fragile, especially the type of things he's going to go up against. Right.
Which is also why the extra CP is good, because you get an all-out defense.
Yeah.
There you go. Appreciate it, Lyle. Thank you.
Okay, next up we have Wee Man. Thank you, Wee Man. Repair strat was 8th. Invocation Zach has effect core.
No crew. He's right.
Aren't core. Anva can pick a unit to shoot and do actions if that helps.
Oh, nice.
Talva.
Yeah, I almost did do that with the Crisis, but then they didn't do an action. When I sent the Stealth to go do turn 4, when I sent the Stealth to go do Aerospace, I was thinking about sending the Crisis up there to do it, but then I didn't have anybody to go over to that other objective except for the Crisis.
Totally.
So they did that.
Do you know if that's an ethereal wide ability or that's only on Va?
It is ethereal wide.
Okay.
It's
a
actually
great
crazy.
ability.
It's tucked away in this. It's like not on the ethereal data sheet.
Right.
It's like in the army rules.
Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ready for this next one.
Oh boy. Here
Oh, no.
Oh, the next.
The one next one.
Yeah, this one. Not the next one. Noah Westergaard.
Noah.
Zach, it's the Miami Vice Tau player here. What are your thoughts on Riptides, and how do you make them better? I feel like 260, 280 is a little too much.
Well, they need. Brad and I have chatted about this. They need like the Tau Scepter reroll, because they really cannot get rerolls otherwise. It's so hard to get them getting rerolls. So, we played them here. We played a game, right? Was that against you or against John, where I took like 3 of them?
The 3 of them?
We did that game, right?
I think you took them. Against
I-
me.
I-
I played against them.
You played against them, yeah.
Yeah.
And what was weird about them is I don't know that you killed any of them, or maybe you killed one.
I'm sorry, I had the 3 Riptides. I played that list.
I played it too, though. I
Oh.
played this on stream.
Yeah.
I played Brian's. And they end up being like weird. They don't do as much. It's almost okay. I'm not gonna use that analogy. They end up being like I was gonna say the Star Drake and Stormcast, but like you're counting on this thing to do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
But instead, what it ends up being is this big tough thing that's kind of fast.
Yes.
And then you're like, cool. When's it gonna kill things? It's like it doesn't. It's a big tough thing that moves fast and blocks movement.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
one, I would say, look at them differently. It's not a hammer, right? It's an anvil. It
is an
moves.
anvil.
It moves fast. It's a fast anvil.
Yeah.
And I could kill. Yeah, I can probably kill a Harlequin boat with one, if it's the burst cannon.
If it's the burst can, yes.
Yeah, the ion. Maybe I can pick up a rhino.
I love fighting Riptides with this army.
Yeah,
I
because
can
they just
haywire
don't-
you.
Yeah.
I can be -1 to hit with no rerolls.
Yeah.
They just dunk on Riptides. Yeah.
So
To an extent.
think of them differently, and like don't expect a lot of output. They lack all of the keywords to get cool things,
Yeah.
especially core.
What would you give them to fix them?
I do exactly what they're saying. Drop the points, because
drop 'em, yeah.
because they are good. Otherwise, like I think like they're kind of interesting. They can crazy move block. They're super tough. 2 up, 5 up.
Yeah.
Can go
The Nova Reactor's cool.
Nova Reactor's
like
cool.
balance.
Can get a feel no pain.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, the Nova Reactor is amazing. Like 2 up, 5 up, 5 up, feel no pain. Just put 2 of them in front of your army, block things, make them shoot things. They can still do weird drone stuff, right? Yeah, they can do drone.
You can drone.
You can drone stuff. Yeah, maybe drop them 40 points,
Whoa.
30. I don't know.
It's hard to tell. I will say the only game I lost against Tau
Yeah.
was against 3 Riptides. So
With these guys, with the Harlequins.
Yep.
And what is it that they did? How did they contribute to that loss? Do you think?
So it was just a very skew list. You had virtually no OPSEC. So it was Izzy actually. 3 Riptides, 3 Hammerheads, couple commanders, and like 2 or 3 bombs of Crisis, like 3-mans with like flamers and stuff. So that's like perfect against me. And they just slowly pincered and move around, so there's nowhere to hide. So it's enough shots that they're like killing the boats and then killing the things inside. And I can't jump in and just kill them, right? Unlike Hammerheads. So it was kind of volume of this like skew list,
Yeah.
and then pincering, which was also a
Interesting.
good deployment for them.
Yeah,
very interesting.
I honestly like what Omni is saying is perfect. Like they're like armigers for knights, and they block movement. They're quick, tough. Yeah, threat. Yeah, do some damage.
Yeah, they are better than armigers. They should not be as cheap as an armiger.
I will say what I like about them, especially if I do. I think we did a list with 3. Oh yeah, we did.
I still think I played them.
we did what I played was a list that I think it was 2 and the Ravarna, Brian's Ravarna.
Ugh.
It was like when they came out. It was like pretty
Yeah.
early when the
Oh, okay, yeah.
like week 1 or 2.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
And I like loading up. I do still like loading up as many things as you can with smart missile systems, because people think they're not good, but like you start, especially Kion. I know the range is only 12, but you still just start being able to do this. They can do 2 things. One, they're just a lot of shots at AP1.
Yeah.
Up close when you do have line of sight,
Right.
right?
When you don't have line of sight, they're AP nothing.
They're AP nothing. But what you end up doing is like people are hiding just the stupidest little things.
Yeah.
And you start throwing, you're like, okay, I have across the board, I have 12 smart missile systems.
Yeah.
So here comes 48 shots into these like 10 cultists in the background.
The volume.
Trying to just hold something, right? Yeah. It adds up. It adds up. And it surprises people because they're like, that thing that I don't think I have to worry about and scoring me a point, now I'm not.
Yeah.
And now I have to go figure out another way to score points.
That's
right?
true.
That's what I've found that they're kind of good at doing.
Thank you.
Oh boy, here we go.
Oh.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yeah, so this next one was because I mispronounced something, or I did not add an S at the end. It's for Michael Cody. Thank you, Michael. Being picky, it's daddy's issues. It's very different. I think I said daddy issues.
Oh, it's uncomfortable either way, Michael Cody.
Michael Cody, you're a fiend.
But listen, I said I'll take a Michael Cody name
Over a
Meg name.
Meg is pretty good.
And
Yeah.
might not be right though. Might not be right.
Yeah. Thanks, Michael.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I think he took off earlier because he had to do something, but he'll.
Fair enough.
Okay, next up we have Joe Betts. Thank you, Joe. It's spooky season. Sure is.
Woo!
And then in a few days, in like a week, it's officially spooky season.
Spooky season.
Playing OBR versus SBGL tomorrow. What's the spookiest 40k pairing? And what's spookiest, AOS or 40k? Cheers, everyone.
Oh. So,
Spookiest 40k pairing.
so every year we do Halloween episodes. And I think the one for last year was pretty good. We did vampires versus undead. So it was
Blood Angels.
versus Necrons.
Yeah.
And we even did like a whole spoof like thing. I think that was pretty spooky. Pretty spooky.
Yeah. Okay, so that's silly good spooky. Truly spooky? What's truly spooky in 40k?
Daemons?
Daemons.
Daemons?
Diamonds.
Daemons. Maybe Daemons.
And Necrons?
Maybe, I don't know.
Necrons are so spooky. I mean, Tyranids are spooky, but like, are they spooky or
They're
are
not
they?
spooky.
That doesn't fit? Yeah.
Spooky implies what? Scary is like
Spooky.
primal fear. Spooky is an element of psychological fear. Is that
You
fair?
think Tyranids are not psychologically scary?
I think that they're so primally scary that that's just like you're stuck with that.
Oh, I see. I kind of see.
To that extent, I think Daemons are scarier.
Yeah. So demons for sure. Daemons.
One type of Daemons versus another type of Daemons.
That's the, you can't say oops all.
Yeah.
You can't. Not your mother's demon matchup.
See, it doesn't work there. Look, it works differently. It's not a direct replacement.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to figure out other use for it. Yeah. Listen, I will say this.
Chaos Knight's pretty spooky. Oh, they literally have dread abilities. About
Chaos
being
Knights are
spooky.
pretty spooky,
They're
actually.
literally
Yeah.
about being spooky.
Yeah. I think, honestly, if you're using the word spooky, I think that AOS is spookier things.
Yeah.
If you're using the word scary or existentially terrifying, probably 40k.
I agree.
But spooky is Night Haunt. I mean, that's like
And
literally.
vamps. Vampires.
And
too.
vampire- and
Yeah,
Soulblight.
Soulblight.
Yeah.
Very
Osiark
spooky.
Bone Reaper is maybe actually the least
Bone daddies.
spooky of the death factions.
Yeah. They are.
Because they're like Necrons.
They're like businessmen.
They're yeah.
Businessmen of death.
Yeah.
They're really an annoying death army. Because
You-
that's what they do. You know that, right?
Yeah,
The Bone Tide, like how
Yeah.
annoying it is.
They're
And they,
like accountants.
yeah, but they show up and they're like, hey, we haven't actually been here for a while, but like 2,000 years ago, the people that lived here,
Yeah.
they owed us this many bones, so we need that now. Do you have that many bones laying around? And they're like, I don't know, you can check our graveyard. It's like, okay. Then they dig them all up and like, hey, you know what? You were only had about 50% of the bones we need, so we're going to need the rest of those. And I guess they're just going to have to come from you. That's like their thing. That's how they get into their fights. It's just
amazing.
like, we just need bones.
Yeah.
They can be fresh, they can be old. There's not enough here. We have a paper. It says how much you owe us. Like, I didn't sign any of this. I don't want any part of this.
That's amazing.
It's ridiculous.
Oh my god, I love that. That is really spooky.
Excuse me. I believe you have my bone
Yeah.
stapler.
Yeah,
exactly.
OBR, the B is for business.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Joe.
So AOS is the spookier of the two. Cool. Okay. We have the Hytorian, the thank you, Hytorian. While I wait for the Votan to come out, I am trying to finish up my custom Space Marine chapter with a reboot proxy. Going for a Contemptor Dread, got a Night Chain Sword. Any advice for tricking it out to look Primarch level?
That's awesome.
It's about the pose, huh?
That's pose, yeah,
It's really
for
about
sure.
the pose, yeah.
And ornamentation.
Contemptor. Go, Contemptor. You should be able to pose Contemptor. Cool.
You might have to slice them up a little bit.
Yeah.
But I totally agree. You don't want to just, like that.
Oh, wait, Contemptor. I'm thinking of Redemptor. What's the cool
Redemptor is
Primaris
very
one?
posable. Yeah, that's Redemptor.
Redemptor. Contemptor is this guy.
It is. You'll have to cut the joints, but you can. I actually did that
Yeah.
on mine. You can.
Yeah.
Which, if you have and are willing to work with green stuff, that might be your best friend, because you can just, what I would do is almost just say screw it, cut out the joints, just cut them so that there's army plates, position him, and then go in and green stuff like a mesh or something, and just don't even worry about having like the big, it's not a ball bearing, it's some other technical thing, but it's just might not give you the flexibility that you need to do the cool pose.
Yeah. Get this right, it's going to be not your mother's Contemptor Dread, and I think it's going to truly work as a proxy. Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't think that one worked?
I don't know. It was,
didn't get
it was
it in?
okay. It was all right. Yeah.
I think it was.
You need more lots of oats a moment, and if you can find Custodes bits to like make him fabulous,
Yeah.
I'll go for that. Not your mother's, huh?
Not your mother's Contemptor Dread.
Yeah. Not your mother's Gilliman.
Not your mother's Gilliman either.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's stupid, but I think it works. I think it holds up.
You can make it work.
We're
Yeah,
gonna make it work.
Yeah. Okay. Godforge. Thank you, Godforge. Hey, Caleb. Oh, this was a response. So Caleb had a super chat earlier asking about where to get the crisis.
Yeah.
And then Godforge was trying to contact him in the chat. So I just super chatted. Hey Caleb, contact Godforge in Discord. I can send you a Piper Makes hard suit for the cost of shipping for a friend of the show.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Amazing work.
Nice work.
Thanks, Godforge.
Yeah, that's very nice of you.
Also, I don't think I have not been able to catch Godforge in a stream, so hopefully you're around.
Yeah.
Thank you for this amazing gift.
Oh.
This is incredible. Godforge sent this to me.
Oh, yeah.
For Hobby Titans. And then every time I was on Hobby Titans, I forgot to bring it in. But it was at my house. It's here. Framed it. We were talking about old kits, old Space Marines. This is literally Godforge's first Space Marine. It's from like the OG plastic kit.
Yeah.
Totally like mint condition. Sent it to me.
Wow.
And as per his recommendation, I was like, I gotta like put this in like a light box or whatever they're called.
It's cool.
Yeah.
And it's just so literally one of the coolest things I've ever received. So
Yeah.
really, really, really thank you.
Oh, there he is. There's Godforge.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hugely appreciate it. So glad you super chatted. So know you're here because I will never remember to bring this to Hobby Titans, but it's here.
I mean, you just were on Hobby Titans and you were here and it was here.
I know it was literally right here. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Found
Found it in his attic. Wow.
Well, it's much loved. It's just so like it's a piece of history right there.
Yeah.
Neat. Okay.
Zlaquonian.
Zlaquonian.
Classic.
Thank you. Love the name. Zach, I'm a big fan. You play the current turn position very well, but I think an issue you might have is setting up for future turns. It's probably why it seemed like you never had anything to shoot.
That definitely happened. I would say 2 into 3 or 3 into 4. For sure, yeah. And it's tough because I'm coming from this background of having played Tau for so many editions. And, realistically, Adrian's sending like 5 troops into a crisis squad, even if I don't get Overwatch. I don't know. You're not going to kill that many. That's not a great match. Like, you might kill 2.
No, 5 isn't great.
Yeah, so You're right. I probably should have been more aggressive, but that's always the fear, especially against Harlequins, because they can move so far. Yep. So you're like, cool, I can push up the board, but then I'm going to get charged, and that's bad. But what I should have remembered is, no, it's not that bad. It's not. It's going to be bad for him. He's going to trade in a different way.
And your superpower is also fall back and still shoot.
Fall back and shoot, or hang there and shoot and finish him off there if it makes sense to do 100%. That, right? So you're not wrong, and I need to get more Tau games in 40K. I was just saying this to Adrian in between this stream and the last one. But thank you, I appreciate it, Zarklonian, and you're not wrong. I need to be more aggressive, get up there faster.
He did forget to ABC. You didn't charge enough.
I didn't charge once.
You did once. With Onger Gauntlet.
Oh yeah, that's right. I mean, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Next up, we have Dylan, who has the biggest pile of shame among the Titans. What is the biggest it has ever been?
It's probably me, having just moved.
Oh.
It's very big. It's very big. It's a lot. It's way too much. It's so much to get through. That's pretty much it. It's enough that I could do a video. So I feel weird about it because here's the thing. I have thoughts about this. You see creators do pile of shame videos. And I think it's in very poor taste, personally. Because this is a very expensive hobby that we're in. And there's a lot of people that can barely afford the hobby.
And it's
just like, look at all this stuff I'm not using. And it's just like this weird show of like
I'm with you.
Wealth or something, you know? So anyways, that's why I'm being a bit weird about it. I do have a lot I need to work on, and it's a ton. And I'm very privileged to be in that position where I have a lot to work on. So
I mean,
that's why.
It's accrued over time as well, right? It's not like...
It is, for sure. But I'm still lucky to have it. And there's no reason to go make a video being like, oh no, look at my problem, you know? So anyways, I have a lot to work on. Lots of projects. Mel's telling me to confess.
I try to keep it pretty in out. Something's in, something's
You're
out.
pretty good about that.
I have to, but it still grows. It does still kind of grow a little bit. Yeah.
It's like 2 step forward, 1 step back.
Kind of.
Or maybe it's like a 1-2, depending on the ratio.
Yeah, it's a few steps forward, but then 1 back. But I'm trying to think what I have right now. I mean, I have a whole Bone Reaper's army, speaking of, that is ready for paint. It's all assembled.
But then you're going to do that in 1 chunk.
Yeah,
You're very good about that.
I'll sit down and just like do that over 2 weeks.
That's great. Lindsay, any pile of shame stuff you're working on?
Yeah.
Or not working on?
Yeah. Well, working at a game store.
Yeah.
I get that game store discount. But I'm also very good at not getting things that I know I'm not going to use.
How do you do that?
Oh.
Wait, say that? Say it again?
I'm very good at getting things that I know that I'm not going to use.
You're not getting things.
Not getting things. I'm very good at not getting things that I'm not going to get. I'm not going to use.
Yeah. I can do that.
So
I can't do that.
Something really nice can come in, and like I see everything that comes into the store.
Yeah.
I see all the really nice things. I have first dibs almost on a lot of the nice things because I'm there. But it also helps having a very small apartment.
That's fair.
So like I would love this box set of something. I know I'm not going to use it, and I know I don't have space for it.
Yeah.
So I definitely do have some shame that's tucked away up in my closet. It's taken up a nice half of my closet. There's definitely some unopened boxes that have been sitting there for 4 years.
Got to keep them contained.
Yeah, and on top of that, I try to, I'll bring down what I have and try to work on it.
Yeah.
But that creates just shame littered across my desk, under my desk, next to my desk. So it's not a lot.
I have that problem. It's it's almost better when it's not started because once you start it, unless you finish it, then it's expanded, right?
Yeah.
But
when it's in a box, it's it's
contained.
Right.
Yeah. The good thing about
mentally too. When it's in a box, it's mentally contained. Right?
Well, I put them out of line of sight.
No,
line of sight.
no such thing. No such thing. Because then you go and you go to grab something. It's like I'm looking for example, there's a box of Saurus Guard right there.
Yeah, now
I just noticed that's cool. But if those Saurus Guards start to get assembled and start to get primed, and then you're oh, it's a thing now, right?
Yeah.
It's true. It's hard. But we have the studio, so the good news is, especially for Mel who's watching, once I finish a project and it's done, then it can come on the studio. It can be stored on the shelves. it's this like in between part where like I can't bring unbuilt models. To
We already need more shelves.
I'm not John.
We're out of shelves. I know. We need to. Yeah.
John's shelf is and continues to be a problem.
John is in trouble.
You can only bring models that are finished and look nice, John. You can't just put them on the shelf, okay?
I will say this, that speaking of fiends, both Kat and Brett have done this thing to me where she's talking about seeing something and wanting to buy it.
Yeah.
Brett did that to me with tools, and Kat has done that to me with paint. So I don't do it with models, but now I do it with tools and paint all the time.
Yeah.
Fortunately, once you get the tool, you have the tool, you don't need a second one. You'd think, but I literally just bought new wet palettes at Nova when I already have 2 wet palettes. So I actually have 3 wet palettes.
That is so necessary.
And I like all of them. I also need things for here and home. So there's that.
That's 2.
That's 2, but then I also need one that travels a little more. It's kind of a mess, and that was I blame that on Kat and Brett.
That's fair.
They did that.
We all have our weaknesses, you know. Good question. And as you guys already kind of are, but let us know in chat. What's your pile of shame look like? What do you need to work on?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that. Next up, we have Andy. Thank you, Andy. Building up my Eldar again after 10 plus years. Love my Bealtan missing COTYK. However, having fun with Ynnari and clowns. Which would you like to lean into?
Oh man, which would you lean into? COTYK. Carbon, oxygen, Demethium, Yellowtail. I don't know. Last one's just a fish.
Court of the Young King.
Oh yes, dude, that was amazing. Can we get the numbers in chat for John?
Is that what that?
Yeah,
is that what that?
100%.
Okay.
That's what it is.
Okay.
I know. I really. Court of the Young King was so cool. The Altan is like my first love for Eldar. So Ynnari versus clowns. I mean, obviously I'm gonna say clowns. They're just so fun to play. Ynnari are like, if you want like, so you have craft rolled Eldar, and if you want the most immediately accessible weird elfy faction, then you can do Ynnari. But for me, a lot of the time, the kind of kick that I think people get out of Ynnari, and that John gets out of Ynnari, I get the same thing out of clowns, and I enjoy that more. Just the maneuverability, the shenanigans, the tools, and while you can bring in like a patrol or whatever of traveling players of Harlequins, going all Harlequins is so much more rewarding for me. So I'm biased, but I would say clowns.
I don't have an answer to this. I don't play either of them. I do think Ynnari, they're both very cool. I would love to do like a very bespoke painted Ynnari thing.
Yeah.
Like very spooky. And you get some Night Haunt in there.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Somehow.
No, 100%.
Yeah. Like the little fiend things, yeah.
Little Johns.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. Next up, we have Caldorf. Thank you, Caldorf.
Hello.
Zach putting down corporate policies. What's next? Office B-Day cakes? Wait. TTT, now official funnest corporate office job. You all the best. 7.
Thank you, Caldorf.
I was wondering about this today. I shouldn't say this on air. Are we in close to like having to actually do things legally?
Oh, for like number of people that we have?
Yeah.
I think so. In California, one of the big cutoffs is like 10 or 20.
Okay.
So not quite there.
Okay, good.
But we're like
Okay.
a few more people.
Yeah, like we're getting pretty close to needing to have a fire extinguisher.
Is that dependent on the number of people?
I don't know.
I don't know if that one is.
Is that number? Yeah.
I don't know if that's correlated.
What about hanging those OSHA posters?
Oh, we should put those up regardless.
We gotta hang those up.
Yeah, with pictures of
like choking, if someone's choking.
Yeah, like forklift usage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Ernie over there.
You do like a
Yeah.
onboarding
Well, that
videos.
that we do need to do.
Like, yeah.
Like, you know that.
The orientation. You have to sit down and watch
Yeah.
like 3 hours of videos.
We spend like hundreds of hours like making these videos.
Yeah.
It's like Zach in a suit. But also something. Lindsay's like, maybe some orientation materials, maybe.
Let's talk about harassment.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. It's like, you guys aren't that big. I'm like, no.
An eyewash station? No, we don't. We
eyewash
should,
station?
though. Maybe.
Hey, with that fog machine.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yes.
Oh my God, I know. Some of you guys, just the things that you do. I'm like, no, Mel, you cannot climb on the shelves to reach a model. No,
That
you guys
could be
can't
bad.
balance on a tripod to reach the camera. Like, Jesus. The things that I've seen horrify me.
No good. Yeah. D-Choker. Yeah. You guys should look up D-Choker. It's this product. It's
I
crazy.
get all those ads on Facebook.
Oh, where it's like, my child, you get this?
My son
child
was saved like,
yes.
every day. I'm like, God, you're another.
And they're like, how many people are choking on corn on the cob all summer long? A country of people choking on corn on the cob. It can't be real.
You joke, but it probably is sadly.
So I got my friends in Boulder. I sent them as a joke. I sent them 2 chokers. They just had a little baby.
2? What?
Yeah, one for a baby and one for adult.
For a dog.
Adult and
Gotcha. Okay.
adult and child to choker. And then I got to visit them randomly on the way out to Nova because I got stuck in Denver. And I got hands on the choker. It's nice. It's really well built.
How does it?
Did you test it out?
It's like it goes over like this,
Yeah.
kind of like
Does it
a.
like suction it out?
And then it's like it's intense.
So it's like a plunger for your.
I just like, and then like all the videos show like the chewed up hot dog piece, and like they.
I
post
know,
that on
they're always so
Facebook.
gross.
I want to see this.
Yeah.
Just like calm down, eat slower, guys. You know, it's crazy. I was talking about this. Like nobody chokes. Like
People choke. Okay, a lot of people choke.
I have so many. I know so many people.
You don't know any people that have choked to death? Is that what you're about to say?
I know so many people. I've never been like, oh my god. Are people not admitting it? Maybe people are admitting it.
Look, if you ask my grandpa, he will tell you the time that he saved my grandma's life at a wedding. I could tell you the story, but this point I've heard it so
You're
many
halfway
times.
in, really. I mean, this is the story.
I mean, frankly, look, that is as long as the telling should be. That's it. That's the story.
It happens, but
Yeah.
I guess we should move on.
Probably.
Let's move on. Okay, next up we have. We're about to get to it. Oh, maybe not. Hamsterdam. Thank you,
Hey.
Hamsterdam.
We know this
Hey,
guy.
Titans. Happy birthday, Doc Mel. Looking
Birthday.
to try some new techniques with an airbrush. Mostly been painting terrain in zenithal and highlights. What would you recommend for learning new tricks?
Ooh, good question. For Zach,
What?
did you listen to the question?
Yeah.
New airbrush techniques, and where to learn them, frankly. So there is a channel, Hobby Titans, Amsterdam. You can check it out.
He knows that one.
I know.
What? Yeah.
It's tough because I don't know about you, but the way that I consume hobby material, there's a couple of channels that I watch just for videos. But if I want to learn a technique, I kind of just search it, and I'm not like it's not like a channel I always go to.
Same.
You know?
I think honestly, the big thing with airbrushing for me that I've done over the years is I've just pushed what I can get done with an airbrush more and more and more. And so I don't think of it as like, here's a new technique. I more so start thinking like, okay, here's my ogre, and he's holding something like this, and this is up against his chest. Can I do his hand with my Sotar? Can I just get his hand and then do a little cleanup? So I'm always just kind of like looking at a model and being like, how far can I push the airbrushing? And I will always want to, and I need to do more brush work, but the way I think of it is like this. I look at a model and I need to say, I need to cover as much of this model as I can with paint with an airbrush first. Then I need to go further with my brush work. The second thing I would say is, so be bolder about what you airbrush.
Yeah.
Just be bolder about
Push yourself.
Yeah, and especially if you can pick up Amsterdam, something like a Sotar or a smaller airbrush. The second thing I would say is go more. Not only coverage, but how many more layers can you add? How many fine granular color? Like currently, you're doing a dark, and then a medium, and then a light. Try to get a fourth one in there: dark, medium, light, lighter yet, or some like add another layer, right, to highlight up and get more of a not spectrum, but more of a gradient is the word. Get more gradient, more model coverage, more gradient. That's what I would do. That's what I am doing.
Well said. Now, I have to say, I finished this entire water. And I really have to use the restroom. So
You're
I'm
gonna
going to
use-
let you guys take the super chat.
All right. Here we go.
Oh, I think you're just trying to get out of those difficult ones. Darn it!
Oh yeah, he doesn't know. He doesn't have an
Oh,
answer to this.
sorry, I muted someone else.
There you go.
Okay, thank you, Vincent. Vincent coming in with the tough question. Top 3 Power Rangers villains.
Are you a Power Rangers person?
I watched Power Rangers. I watched like the first one back in the 90s, but
Yeah.
also I was like 6.
Yeah, I was not 6. I was older, but
Yeah.
I also watched it. And I don't. John is maybe the person that would know. Vincent, I know you know we don't know their names. Nobody knows the different Power Ranger villains. Do we know who's like the main?
There's Kimberly. That's the Pink Ranger.
That's a Power Ranger, not villains.
Oh, villains? Oh no, yeah. Well, there's the lady with the hair.
Yeah,
with
what's
the,
her
the,
name?
I come across it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's her name.
They have like Lord Zed. No, I just think like, okay, one guy looks like a plant, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a guy that looks like a fried egg. Rita Repulsa.
That's
Right,
it.
that's who I know.
Yes.
Vincent, that's the only one I know.
She's definitely on the list. Okay, now, was the Green Ranger ever...
Into the room, we're gonna make him name one.
Well, hi,
villain.
chat. There you go.
Yeah, we'll hide chat. Okay. We can move on. What's this? Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember the names of these guys.
Okay. We have another one from the Chris DV. Thank you, the Chris DV. Just posted an image of my Archon and Incubi and 4 unfinished Cabalites in hobby progress. Thoughts on the scheme? Let's find out.
Okay, I'm checking everybody. He's talking about Discord. He's talking about hobby progress. The Chris DV. Oh, there you are. Oh, yeah, this is awesome. Here, I'll show you, Lindsay. Let me find a very good picture. I saw just one picture. Oh, this earlier picture you posted, I think, actually shows up a little bit better, Chris. Yeah, this is better. Look at the scheme. Yeah, it's like metallic blue and a little bit. Is it gold or silver?
That's a gold. Yeah, that's a gold.
I actually like Drukari in metallic.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see it a lot, but I do like it. I think they like really lend themselves to it.
Yeah.
With like their weird, cool armor plating, etc. So I'm into it. I keep up with it. I think you need something non-metallic in here, though, based on what I saw. Like you've got the blue. Your cloth that's hanging down. I want to see that be something more bold, a bolder color.
Those are great.
Yellow, or ooh.
Nice bright
Gonna be the
orange.
exact thing.
Yeah, okay.
A nice bright
Orange. Or moot green.
Ooh.
And really, at that point, it's the Alpha Legion, because the Alpha Legion are moot green, orange, and this color.
Right.
But still, it's I mean, if it works, it works. No, Lindsay's right. It could be bright orange, or it could be like moot green, like yellowish green.
Isn't this like a flesh thing?
That's okay. No, I get it. Like it's supposed to be flesh. That's fine. But like, what looks good? Like,
Yeah.
no. If someone's like,
Wait.
you didn't paint your flesh color. First of all, there's no such thing as flesh color. We all know that.
Fair.
Oh, Adrian, name one villain from Power Rangers. We know you're trying to get out of this.
Megazorp.
I can't even check it. He could be,
someone
I don't know
did
why I
mention
thought I would be
Megazord.
able to be like, that's not a. I don't know.
Wait, no one mentioned Megazorp. Huh.
So maybe, no. So someone says,
Mesogog.
Mesogog.
Lord Zed. Rancic. Astronema. Zed.
Yeah, that's what I said. No, I said Megazorp. That's his Bizarro cousin. Okay. Yeah, I never watched Power Rangers as a kid. My parents said it was too violent.
What?
True story. It's a true story.
You're the oldest of 4 brothers. There's no way that like your everyday life of the 4 of you just like wrestling as little kids wasn't more violent. I mean, I guess though that's probably true to your mother and father's point that it would have just
Made it worse.
It would have just ramped that up
Yeah.
because it's so attainable. You see the way they fight, and you're like, oh my god, that's very attainable right now with that kid half my size. I could do the same thing. Yeah,
true.
it's very attainable. You're right.
Yep, you're not wrong. But yes, I could play Warhammer. I know.
I think that the next Titans outing should be
Yeah.
Power Rangers Watch Marathon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Before or after paintball?
It's gonna
Lindsay's
be,
like,
it's gonna
"Oh,
be
there's-
before
Because there's
paintball
not going to be
because-
anything after paintball.
because people may not survive paintball.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
exactly.
we should definitely we should do the Power Ranger thing first because I actually really want to do that. And then do the paintball.
Oh my
Then would it
god.
be like just like the first one or
I'm
yeah?
going to get sawed by Lindsay.
It's happening.
Yes, you hired a stranger.
Yeah.
So just letting you know. Okay, next up we have.
I think that's it. Flavius?
Is it? Yeah, Flavius, Belisarius. Thank you, Flavius. Hey, Titans. Hi, Titans. I love all the work you do on your channel. Any plans to have more armigers in your Imperial Knights army? I would love to see a 13 model Freeblade list on the table. Thank you.
13.
Is that how many you can get in 2,000 points?
Yeah, I think so. So I don't have current plans to get to 13.
13 is intense.
13 is a lot. But I do have current plans to get to 9. For me, that's like the ideal knight list is 7 armigers, 2 big boys. I think it's really good. It's really fun. Right now we don't have enough built. We do have them. Again, it's kind of a hobby question, right? So yes, plans for 9, 13, probably a little bit down the line. I'm sure we'll get there eventually because again, we have a hobby problem. We're obsessed. But for now, 9.
Is that a good list? 13 armigers?
Probably good, not great, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the best, especially for the way some of the secondary score and things like that. I don't think it's bad, but I think personally, ideally, it's 2 big knights, 7 small knights. And I think first we should get to like the ideal knight list, and then we can kind of continue to expand into like things that are like cool, different situation. Especially for John, he deserves a right proper knight list.
Yeah.
He does.
Okay. I see preview of a future super chat. I'm excited. Okay, next up we have Vincent. Thank you, Vincent. Night Lords versus IG Spooky match.
Yeah, that is. Well, IG
Yeah.
not super spooky, but they're like the good like the humans to like fight the spooky.
It's spooky for them, yeah.
Yeah.
Spooky.
And this was a response to the spooky.
Yeah.
Right,
comment
40K
earlier.
ones. That was a pretty spooky matchup, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, Dakota Templarius. Thank you, Dakota. Any new Templar games with that new Emperor's Champ coming out? Is that the one that's like?
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Also,
cool.
can we get a buff to the Emperor's Blessed Hero? Thanks, guys.
Yeah, he Templars in general maybe need a little something in the light of Armor of Contempt, and Champion's cool. Maybe be a little bit cooler.
The new model?
No, just rules wise.
Rules-wise,
he's
yeah.
like fine.
He's not that interesting.
He's not nothing crazy. But that model's amazing. So cool.
The model is cool. It's
Yeah.
very diorama-y.
Yeah.
That base is part of the model. It's great.
Oh, 100%.
Ah,
And I saw
great.
one guy in the Orc Facebook group that he's like, every model is an Orc model, and he flipped the image upside down, and he's like, is anyone else imagining like a flying like Orc that's like and there's like I don't know stuff coming off of it, and I'm like, my God, this man's a genius. Now we need this Empress Champion.
Yes. Okay.
Thanks, Dakota.
Thank you.
Okay, we're getting to the point where the camera is obscuring. Oh, yeah. Let's do this.
classic.
Let's do this.
She's
Aha!
using her mouse.
And ooh,
Oh,
move
now it's
things
gone
around
forever.
a bit. Hang tight. Okay. Next up we have Ultracron Marine.
Hey.
Thank you. Hey Titans, any advice for painting a Necron DDA?
Doomsday Arc.
Doomsday Arc.
Yeah.
Yeah, is subassembly mandatory? Have a bone and metal color scheme with orange glow. Ooh,
Let me
orange
pull
glow.
this up. This is the Forge World one, right?
No, it's the plastic one. We have 3 of them.
Oh,
It's
I'm thinking of a Tesseract Arc.
yeah, it's highly recommended. The one I have that's built,
Oh, this is the big gun.
it's the big gun.
Yeah.
It's got like the kind of things and then the big gun down the middle.
Yeah.
Mine came assembled, so I had to paint it like that, and it was a pain. It was a pain in the butt, mostly because the gun inside It's like encased. It's like almost like a rib cage.
It is a rib.
And then this kind of thing down the middle. So if you can, I would sub-assemble it. Again, I haven't built one yet, so I don't know what the building process is.
The orange is a big thing, though. I mean, not the orange. He says orange glow gun.
Yes.
But the gun is very different than the rest of the model.
Yeah,
And this model is
exactly.
all about the gun.
So if you can just not put the gun into later, I think you could get away with just doing that. Because the rest of it was pretty fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty okay. So, best of luck.
Yeah, all cool. And then we have one more, maybe, from Vincent. A much easier top 3 list. Top 3 DBZ villains, Dragon Ball Z villains.
You know the other
Still
show
not easy for me.
I wasn't allowed to watch because it was too violent?
Dragon Ball Z?
But this one actually is very violent. Like, let's be honest. This show was crazy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I do know better. Vegeta. Piccolo.
Oh, Vegeta.
Oh, yeah!
Because I thought it was like, I didn't know what it was. I
like,
just
what's
pronounced it like an
Vegeta?
Italian,
Yeah.
like a pasta shape.
Vegeta.
Yeah, Vegeta.
Broly.
Okay, Broly.
Did I do it? That's 3 of them.
Yeah, it's 3 of them.
They're my top
Yeah.
because they're the 3 that I know. What about you?
I loved Dragon Ball Z growing up. I would
Yeah.
watch Sailor Moon, and then right after Dragon Ball Z
Oh,
would
that's
come
right.
on, and so yeah,
On Toonami?
on Toonami.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a big Cell fan. Cell was like that was
Oh,
my.
that's like the main bad guy, right?
Yeah, no, he's not like he's one of the big bad guys, but he's not. You know,
Is he
has
green?
He's green,
Oh,
but he's not
like
Piccolo. But he's got this tail. Yeah.
By the way, I typed in cell in Google like that was going to bring him up. Not the definition of the word cell. Or like a tech company probably called cell.
Yeah.
Yeah, peer-reviewed journal.
I want a peer-reviewed journal
I
on
love it.
Cell.
On Cell. He's a green guy, though. We know that, Zach.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, Cell is got to be my number one because like I think that whole season, that whole Cell arc was was like my favorite. Seeing little Gohan like come up and be like, yeah, it's great.
I missed the boat on this stuff.
Frieza was another good one. Frieza scared me.
That rings a bell.
Yeah,
was that?
Frieza was early on.
Yeah.
The white like short,
Oh, yes.
round-headed alien
Yeah,
creature.
yeah.
Came in right after Vegeta.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm blanking on his name, but he started off in just Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
The little guy. I didn't see anyone mention him.
Little Deuterino.
Little Deuterino. he was just silly.
Little,
yeah.
Little guy Dragon Ball Z. Let's
Little
see.
guy, not Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball.
Yeah,
but he did
different
show
Zach.
up in Dragon
There's
Ball
multiple
Z.
shows.
Yeah.
Even though technically the question is DBZ.
Yeah, DBZ. But he does show up
Oh,
in
here he is.
DBZ.
Right, that's
Not
fair.
that guy. That's Chow.
Majin Buu.
It's
Chaozu.
not Boo. I didn't like Boo. Not Krillin.
Dragon Ball.
Just type in Dragon Ball enemy. There's also the cat guy, which he's really cool.
Oh,
but I
I remember
never
the
saw
cat guy,
those.
yeah.
I never saw those.
Looks like you like Chaozu.
Pilaf.
It's not Chaozu. Pilaf, yes. Pilaf, the
That's
rice guy. Yeah. Emperor Pilaf. So Emperor Pilaf showed up in Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
And that was his like big, he was mostly in Dragon Ball. But then he showed up in Dragon
Yeah.
Ball Z at some point. So I'm gonna count him as top.
I'll be honest, I kind of want to watch this now.
Yeah.
I know, man.
You gotta watch.
Can we do? I'd rather do
Frieza.
this than a Power Rangers
Yeah,
watch
let's
show.
do it.
I'm more on board.
Me too, actually. Me too. I would
Right?
actually like be into watching. Like
How
I'd
about
be
this?
into watching Dragon Ball Z with people who are into it and can
Yeah.
like explain to me
Exactly.
what is happening.
Let's do the Power Rangers one after Paintball, because I'd rather die.
Well, look, the three. Look. I was telling Lindsay was here hobbing the other day. I was like, we can put things on TV. The three of us are here the most.
Yeah.
Let's just get Dragon Ball Z going. I'll totally watch it. I'll just be like, whatever. So John is here too.
Yeah.
He's gonna
You can
love
ask,
it.
like boomer questions.
It'll be a constant
wait.
DBZ marathon.
Educational.
So wait, who's the bad guy?
Yeah, what?
There's multiple.
I can
Where
tell you,
the balls-
I
where the
do.
balls happening?
I do like the edginess of Dragon Ball Z over like that '90s edginess over like the little softer touch of like Avatar: Last Airbender. I feel like when I'm watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, I'm just like, oh, stop! Like it doesn't matter that she said something that made you upset. Now that's woven. I'm just like,
Okay,
just
yeah.
punch each other, and that's what Dragon Ball Z does a little bit better, I
Punch each other.
think.
Yeah.
Right.
More punching, but there's also more like it takes like five episodes for them to punch someone.
Oh, for
sometimes.
sure.
But that I'm into because it's ridiculous.
okay.
It's
Oh my God,
ridiculous.
so ridiculous.
If I want to watch like interpersonal relationships, I'm like, I'm just gonna watch. I'll just watch The Wire. I'll watch something where they're actually gonna do that. Not like I'm mad because you liked that girl today instead of me. And it's like, oh my god.
Avatar has its charm because it's like also like it's funnier too.
Yeah.
It's like so comedic.
And it's more of
the relationships
it's more
are, like,
slice of life.
The relationships are like you're getting like the side of it that's like this is a cartoon that is meant for kids. So you're getting like the more kid side of the thing where you're like the kid version of it. Whereas like the humor and everything else like holds up for like all ages, it feels like. But the relationships, it's like
Yeah.
like what you said. You know?
Yeah.
Gotta inject that teenage,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
Yeah, I get it. I get that. Like, I get that. I can't. There's this age gap, right? Where like Dragon Ball Z, like little kids can watch unless you're in the Phillips's house, I guess. And then there's like this gap
violent.
between Dragon Ball Z and again, let's say like The Wire, where you're not like, hey, 8-year-old. All right, I want my kids to start seeing interpersonal relationships on TV. Their Avatar, that last Airbender, is probably good. As opposed to taking them.
It's a good model.
Watch The Wire.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we've got one more. By Digital Designer. Thank you,
we know
Digital.
this guy.
Yeah, I came back to the stream earlier and heard paintball. Next Titans versus mods should be a paintball off. Also, Adrian, I ordered in the bits to do the first Harlequins troops.
I'm
should
so excited for
be
this.
starting next week.
Oh, it's gonna be amazing. He's doing Adeptus Mechanicus Harlequins. How cool is that?
That is super cool, yeah. I was just kind of trying to envision it, and it's pretty cool, yeah.
Based off of how Mod versus Titans laser tag went,
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking we probably shouldn't do it paintball because we'll get destroyed.
Unless we have Lindsay.
Oh, did they do
Unless we
yeah.
have Lindsay.
Unless we have
They
Lindsay.
destroyed apparently.
Unless we have Lindsay, who
I
just sets up
frequented Qzar a lot when I was younger,
Qzar!
so
Yes!
What? What is the
Qzar. You don't know Qzar? That's because you're like a South Bay person. That's what it is.
No, I'm from Pennsylvania and Maryland.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
well, that's true. So you missed the boat on Qzar. Qzar is like the Bay Area, like more like North Bay, like Northeast Bay, it's laser tag place that you would go.
Oh, okay.
Many birthday parties were had at Qzar.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Did you ever go to the jungle though?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I did.
The jungle's like the classic. Oh my god.
I had like field trips there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I loved
so
the
good.
jungle. Oh man, that was
gosh.
amazing.
What
There-
is-
the jungle was like, I guess Chuck E. Cheese, but I never really went to Chuck E. Cheese, so I know the jungle where it's just massive, play structure with the tubes and kids getting lost in it and barfing.
It's like a giant ball pit, but there was like
Yeah.
multiple ball pits.
But the ball pit was also in the center of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like your parents literally couldn't reach you because you're like in the middle of this like city.
Yeah.
It was the jungle, and it had like a hidden arcade upstairs too. It was amazing.
Now, where I grew up, it's just like maybe somebody rented a donkey at a birthday party. I'm not joking.
It's like that,
Just with ball
like
pits.
cool.
but with ball pits. Yeah.
That thing looks fun.
Discovery Zone.
I did see who was asking about the Dark Eldar paint scheme.
Oh, Chris
said-
DC.
Chris wanted me to
Yeah.
comment on.
We did
it.
show him Chris. He got.
I
to
got
see
a
it.
little bit of feedback.
Yeah.
Mostly it was just what did we think?
Yeah.
I really like the paint scheme. I do agree with what Zach was saying. I think you need some more non-metallic, non-metal to help the metal pop. I think all metal can cause issues. Metal tell you the opposite. She's wrong. So I think I like the flesh here, but both the suggestions were also fine because they're non-metal. I would even consider maybe even the gun not metal, like the actual black part.
Yeah.
Which it might not be. It might just be normal, but that's going to help your metal pop even more.
Yeah, I think both the gun and the cloth need something. Yeah.
I love the scheme. I think it's great. It's well thought out, and it looks great, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, just wanted that. Well,
Yeah.
we did it. Yeah, I could not do quilting. I don't have the patience for that. I gotta Anyways, it's been a lovely day. Thank you for a lovely day game in producing. Of course, lots of stuff coming up soon on the channel. Next week is the conclusion of the Tabletop Titans tournament. The 3rd Tuesday and Thursday are going to be round 2. Again, I'm going to spoil the matchups. I'm going to say them here. I don't actually know which day is which, but the matchups are Harlequins versus Necrons, Adrian versus Bridger, another game. Creations of Bile, Demons, Zach versus Adrian, Very exciting. And then whoever is the winner from each of those plays on Saturday for the final matchup of the Tabletop Titan Tournament, the third.
If you win both, are we going to make John play Demons or John play Harlequins?
I know. I probably need to play Harlequins. I feel like I need to do them justice. It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
Hopefully I lose one of those games, frankly. But this is the third year running.
Both of those could be rough.
Both of those are really hard to play if you don't know them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I honestly, my prediction was, I don't remember.
Necrons, I think you had
No, I think I lose to Necrons, I think is what my prediction is. Okay. Harlequins lose to Necrons, and then Demons go to the finals and win.
Meg has a good idea. Make Adrian do both.
I know. Oh yeah, so what I was going to say is, so year one, it was both my armies made it to the finals. Year two is both Bridger's armies made it to the finals. Mm-hmm. So,
okay.
We'll see. Anyways, that's happening next week. Of course, also tune in for Hobby Titans. Going to be doing some fun and exciting stuff. And Saturday, we are unveiling a big project, big things coming to the channel. You will not want to miss it. That's going to do it for us. Thank you all so much for spending your time and frankly your money. We really do appreciate it. And thank your generous donations and generous help. We shall catch you next time on the tabletop. Bye-bye!